Good evening, Gals and Ghouls. Welcome back to another episode of Cryptic Insight. And we've got a special video here for you today. It's our first in this series. We've been wanting to do this for a while, and we're finally doing it. This is our board game review series, and today we will be reviewing The Thing, Infection Outpost 31. Now, this game has been really... It's a lot of fun, and there's a lot of horror board games out there, and a lot of them have licenses just kind of tacked onto them. But I really think the way that this game was designed really captures that paranoia and that feeling of just tension and just who can you trust very much, right? I know a lot of people out there have played Among Us. If you have played Among Us, this is essentially the board game version of that, and so. It starts out, depending on the amount of players, I believe it goes up to 7 or 8. 8 players, minimum of 4. And the reason that there's a minimum is because you're going to need multiple players so that, because one person starts out as an infected imitation, as an alien, as a thing. All the character sculpts are the characters from the original film. McCready's hat is excellent looking, as always. But the gameplay really captures the movie, and it really does. You're going through missions together, and each turn there's a new captain. So the player to the left of the captain goes next as captain. That captain pulls an Outpost mission card. That mission log will tell them how many players in a squad they need to take with them and what classes they need to take with them to go on a mission somewhere on the Outpost.
And there's 3 different classes.
There's 3 classes. The engineer, the maintenance, scientist, and ops, I believe.
Yes.
And so setup is rather simple. I mean, there's a lot of pieces, but it's not a hard game to set up by any means. But, you'll get dealt a few cards, blood sample cards. You're not supposed to show anyone any of your cards. Blood sample cards, supply cards, anything. You're not supposed to show anything to anyone. So then no one really knows for sure what you do or do not have. It is up to you as a player to either tell the truth or to lie if you're an imitation. There's all kinds of ways you can play, of course. You can tell the truth as an imitation and try to get everybody buttered up and on your side and try to get to that ending. Get on the helicopter. And that's the ending scenario is once you go through the outpost successfully, if you get to the outpost successfully and the imitations, the things haven't destroyed the building by now or stopped you from getting to the helicopter, then the team elects a captain and one final captain. And that captain is going to try and get all of the humans onto this helicopter and leave without having a single imitation on the helicopter or leaving a human behind.
Yes. That's the important part.
Yes, and that oftentimes you will get to that because I find at least amongst our group that we play with, a lot of people don't really play super aggressive as the things because they don't want to be caught out because you can be tied up. There's a lot of ways in which you can stop the things from doing anything. I mean, if you know someone's a thing, you don't even have to take them on missions.
Unless it's required for the mission.
Right.
Like sometimes you don't have an option to take someone with you depending on their category. So if I have to take a scientist with me and the player who we suspect is the thing is the only scientist, you have to take them with you.
Yes, and there are sabotage cards in the supply deck that imitations can play. I mean, humans can play them too. But they can stop or stall the mission or try to make it harder for the team to complete the mission. By completing missions, you will get materials and defeat other things to move on to the next section. There are 3 sections. After you beat 3 sections, then you go to the helicopter section.
And some of the sabotage, I can say words, sabotage cards, Jesus, like you'll flip them one at a time. And so if it's sabotage and it's like, okay, mission failed, you don't get to see what other cards there are. So you can't even necessarily guess on who put the sabotage card in. So that's a gamble though if you are the thing because they could lay it down last and then you see
that's
everyone's
happened to me
card.
So many times. I know I'm the world's unluckiest gamer. But as a thing, I thought I'd play aggressive one time, and I put a Sabo in there because it's like, oh, reveal cards one at a time. I was like, okay, odds of mine being the last one flipped are very slim. It was, and luckily no one was paying attention because I had said I put something else in, and I put in a Sabo, and no one else was paying attention to what was put in. So I got away with that one, but I was like, really? Are you serious? So the game is a lot of RNG, luck. It's a lot of luck. But
And
there
the
are ways you
supplies,
can
too.
right, and there's ways you can influence that luck, right? Like we were saying, if you play things at the right time, if you lie correctly, if you're really good at kind of buttering people up. But even then, it's like I've had so many people who are humans going at each other, which is why I love this game because that's what they
you're
do
like
in the film.
very suspicious of everyone because like you know what you have, but you can't know what everyone else has. Like sure, they'll tell you that they're human,
But they're telling you.
But they're
you
telling
know,
you, yeah, you can't
There could
know.
be a thing telling you.
That's just like in the movie where there's a sense of distrust within the group.
Right. And it's actually well done. The miniatures are fantastic. They look very great. They're very well detailed. There's even the spider head, which is iconic. It's fantastic. Each character has a captain power that they can use when they're captain.
And there's 2 of them. You can only pick one to use, and you can only use it once within your captain ship.
Yeah, once per turn when you're captain. So
Yes.
when it comes back to you, if you use your first captain power for the mission, you can't use your captain power for fighting the thing. Which, when you fight the thing, when you reveal a thing on the board, your squad has to fight it. And now that varies depending on what has happened on the game. So if you failed missions, right, there's a game tracker, and as you get closer and closer to game over on the game tracker after failing, that's another way in which the things can win is by sabotaging to the point where
Destroying
rooms. If 4 rooms destroyed, things win. If you get to full infection around the base, the things win. And if the things are on the helicopter, the things win. Now you're probably thinking, holy crap, it sounds really hard to be a human. It is. That's the point. It wasn't easy in the film.
Yeah.
That's why Blair destroys the helicopter and destroys everything. He's like, it wants to get out. There's nothing we can do about it.
He was the smartest person there. He knew before anyone else knew what the thing was trying to do. As soon as he realized, hey, there's this alien thing. He's mimicking people. He's pretending to be an animal.
It takes one molecule to infect somebody.
As soon as he realized what was happening, destroying all forms of communication, destroying every means of transportation, because he knew it would eventually get him.
Right.
So he wanted to destroy everything.
Right. And so it's, it really does a good job of just making you feel like you're in the film. And honestly, it kind of makes it feel like you're making your own film, if that makes sense. Like you're making your own version of the film with friends, and you're doing it live, and you're doing it with each other, and you're just doing it naturally and reacting with each other. And I'm probably going to have to get some replacement pieces because we play this thing so much. The pieces are going to get worn down, and we promise you that if you're a horror fan and you like board games, this game will take up a lot of your time.
It's not like a super long game though either. Like,
but you'll want to play multiple rounds.
Yeah.
Because we find ourselves like, do you want to go again?
Yeah. Do you want to? Yeah. It's not like super long. I'd say maybe you could spend an hour playing one game.
Yeah, depending.
Yeah, because sometimes you stop and you're like, hey, what about this? You're thinking about, hey, they did this thing. That's suspicious. So people like turn against each other in the game.
And sometimes people forget that they flipped a mission log card and that they're supposed to be selecting a squad because people are accusing each other.
Oh, yeah.
So some people forget that they're supposed to be on a mission right now, but everyone's like, you're sus. And I think you're a thing. And it's like, bro, I gave you my shotgun. What do you mean I'm a thing? And it's like, well, I think you are.
Do that. No.
You're right. Exactly. I mean, that's just kind of the dynamics you're going to feel in this game. So, and the box says, that's what I was checking for, is about an hour playtime is what they estimate on the box.
I'm good at estimations.
Yes. No, that was really good. That was spot on. It was about an hour playtime. There's another version of this game I haven't gotten yet. I'm going to do some research and look into it. But the Thing Infection Outpost 31, it looks like this. This is the font. The other game has the remake font, so don't confuse the two. I haven't played the other one. I don't know if it's bad. I'm just saying if you want to get this version that we're talking about, it looks like this.
Is there something on the back?
Yeah, there's some things on the back. Wonderful artwork, as always. Really capturing the spirit of John Carpenter's film.
Yeah, no, I just got it at Target. I don't know if they still carry it.
I don't know if this is still in print, but if you can find this, I'm going to give this a 5 out of 5 tombstones. I honestly am.
Board games?
Yes, we're gonna rate board games. 5 out of 5 tombstones.
I'll give it a 4.5 because I don't like lying.
She doesn't like lying games.
I hate lying. It makes me uncomfortable, and I'm bad at lying.
But if you're a fan of John Carpenter's thing, and if you like board games, if you kind of want something different,
it is really fun, and I have played it. It's interesting because I don't like lying, and even when I was the thing before, I didn't lie. So
no, she normally plays the route of I'm just gonna play for the team, and if I'm a thing, they might take me. If I'm a human, then we're gonna win.
Yeah.
But that's a strategy you can always take, and I always find myself taking different strategies. I've noticed some of my friends trying to. We're like, if you play with the same group of people a lot, you're going to be like, oh, I notice their tells, or I notice body language. Like, you go into that depth sometimes, and people start changing it up. It's just a good time. It's a good time. If you're a fan of the thing, and you like board games, horror fans, I recommend grabbing the thing, Outpost and Faction 31.
It's really good.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for watching. We hope to do more board game reviews soon. I will make a playlist. Keep an eye out for those. And we got one more video coming up that's going to be quite special. So see you soon. Thank you so much, guys, and stay creepy.
Stay creepy.